All right, what's up, boyos? I don't normally make videos like this. This is not really my thing. Commentary videos. Commentary on a commentary video, no less. But I just feel like I had to say something. I'm seeing these kind of videos all over the place. And I found this specific one by Ryan Kinel. And he's talking about The Last of Us, right? So also at the front of this, just know we are going to talk Last of Us spoilers, so if that's something you care about, maybe don't watch this video. But yeah, let's just jump into what this dude has to say about Neil Druckmann's wokeness and blah, 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 blah. And I've never really heard of this guy before, okay? Just looking at his channel, it seems like most of what, this is all him, Ryan Kinel. Most of what he talks about is just Last of Us and how bad it is. I am under the impression this guy has never played The Last of Us 2. I'm under the impression he doesn't care. I'm also under the impression he doesn't even necessarily believe in what he's saying. He's just saying it because it's popular. I'm also under the impression that everyone in these comments has not played this game, so they really have no reason to say anything. And it's not to say that you can't dislike this game, okay? Because you can, and that's totally fine, right? It's totally fine. But let's just listen to what this guy has to say, okay? And let's be honest, a 0 rating on this game is just not fair. But anyway, let's watch this video. That stupid intro.
Which is currently getting torn studios, and the writer and director of The Last of Us Part 2, which is currently getting torn to shreds because it is so hated by gamers all around the world, has come out on Twitter to try to address some of the crazier accusations that have gone down. But he's being a little bit hyperbolic and dismissing a lot of actual problems. We're going to take a look at that, as well as Metacritic. There's some incredibly strange things going on with Metacritic. I've been tracking it the past couple of days, and people are not being allowed to leave negative reviews. I'm hearing this report over and over and over again, so we are going to take a look at it.
Let me address that real quick, okay? Let me address the Metacritic thing real quick, okay? This is not a problem with The Last of Us. This is a problem just with Metacritic right now. I've experienced this issue myself, just trying to go through Metacritic. I don't know if Metacritic is having some sort of server issue right now, but literally it's hard to get around the site without servers popping up. I went on and tested it earlier, and it wasn't even me trying to post a review. It just the site is like bugging out right now. So it's not like they're trying to boost the numbers by not letting people post, because they'd also want to boost the numbers by letting people put positive reviews. So anyway, let's continue going here.
At it, but let's start with Neil Druckmann himself. He responds, and this is Alexandria, who works at Naughty Dog. And there was this thing that came out yesterday about the Naughty Dog devs forced to look at videos of human mutilation. She says, just out of curiosity, where did that line come from? Neil Druckmann retweets it. He says this. Maybe the same source as you fight homophobic Christians, or that Anita worked on the game, or that Abby is trans, or that I was scanned and mocapped anything in the game, or that we paid for reviews, or I'm exhausted. So after a couple days, right, of Neil Druckmann.
Okay, so that's what Neil Druckmann had to say, and what he said is fair. So this person was asking, where did I hear that Naughty Dog employees had to watch human mutilation? And what Neil Druckmann is saying, it's not true. Just like it's not true that in the game you fight homophobic Christians, because they're not Christian. If you've played the game, you know they aren't Christian. Or that Anita Sarkeesian worked on the game. She didn't. Neil Druckmann just knows who she is, and that's fine. Or that Abby is trans. If you've played the game, you know she isn't trans. Or that I was scanned and mocapped. He wasn't mocapped in the game, although he does look vaguely similar to one of the people in it, but that's probably just coincidental. Anyway, let's continue on here.
not addressing any of these things, being overall positive, and being kind of a troll towards The Last of Us Part 2 fans and critics alike, he comes out and says this. Now, it's true that there have been crazy accusations going down about everything that happened at Naughty Dog, but I want to be very clear about the things we talked about here on this channel.
Okay,
now, it's
give
true,
it to
one
us.
of the early leaks did say you fight homophobic people.
He's not referring to your channel.
Well, in actuality,
he doesn't.
Maybe transphobic.
Neil Druckmann doesn't know who you are. He's referring to this tweet. No one knows who you are, bro. But for some reason, people like this video. I don't understand. All right, let's let him speak.
Would be a better description, because you do indeed. And again, we are going to get into spoilers. Before I get into anything, I want to just say we are going to talk about spoilers here. If you don't want to be spoiled, don't continue to watch. But, one of the things right here, the story of Lev, who is trans.
Mm-hmm.
Abby learns that Lev was cast out of the Seraphite cult because he cut his hair. At glance, it might not seem significant, but the game slowly reveals that Lev was born as Lily and was meant to be a bride for one of the Seraphite males. Having enemies taunt Lev by calling him Lily, so they dead-named a trans person. So maybe homophobic isn't quite the right word.
About to get an ad,
transphobic
so
may be better. Again,
when it comes to trimming your balls, use the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0.
Sarah Underwood,
it is the best trimmer.
Minimizing that. Or
Sorry,
that Anita worked on the game. That's his next accusation. We covered that here on this channel. I talked about how Anita influenced The Last of Part 2. Now, there are a couple people out there that said, oh, Anita helped with the game. Come on, we never said that. What we said was...
And if she did, is that so bad? I mean, like... Trust me, I don't like Anita Sarkeesian as much as the next guy. But, like, the game is fine. And, like, what is the problem? If there is all I'm getting is that you're transphobic. That you have a problem with Lev. Okay? That's all I'm getting out of you, is that you're transphobic. And having a problem with Anita Sarkeesian, who had nothing to do with the game other than Neil Druckmann kind of, like, knows who she is, and she kind of influenced him into looking more into LGBTQ, which is fine. That's fine. She didn't work on the game. This is the same guy that worked on Jak and Daxter 3. This is the same guy that worked... let's just continue.
Was that Anita inspired Neil Druckmann, was that she was an inspiration for the things that happened. And indeed, Anita even came to the studio. I addressed that right here when Evan Hill, this is my video from May 17th. Evan Hill, my brain melted when they dragged her back out. She visited us once like 4+ years ago. That was confirmation that Anita did indeed go to Naughty Dog Studios. Influencing and working on a game are two completely different...
But did you not... She went and visited 4 years ago, guy. One time, 4 years ago. Anyway, let's continue.
Things. There's no doubt that Anita Sarkeesian did influence Neil Druckmann. He admitted so himself.
You can't argue with just the pattern that you see in the industry. So I was really intrigued by this. The videos for video games hadn't come out yet, but I watched the rest of Anita's videos, and I realized it's not just a problem in games, it's actually throughout entertainment. So I wanted to learn more about it on my own, so I started reading some of these books. So while working on The Last of Us, I had this secret agenda that's becoming less and less secret the more I talk about this stuff.
But Neil was trying to spin things.
All right, let's talk about that for a minute. Okay, Neil Druckmann admitted that he has some sort of agenda, which is to push more females in games and a more accurate representation of women in games. What is wrong with that? What's wrong with that? I'm not trying to suck this guy's dick or anything, right? I'm not... And people may watch this and claim I'm some sort of fanboy, but come on, man. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with an accurate representation of females in games? Let's continue.
Like so many of us are saying that she worked on the game, or that Abby is trans. Now, you can go through nearly all of my videos where I discussed the allegations of Abby being trans, and all the time I...
Once again, he's not referring to you. He doesn't know who you are. And Anyway, continuing on.
Said, listen, there's no confirmation of this. She just looks incredibly desexualized and incredibly manly. And then I would go talking about how Lev was going to be trans, right?
And what's wrong with that, you transphobe? Continuing on.
Here on this channel, we were right all along. Neil Druckmann trying to minimize this. Or that I was scanned and mocapped.
Trying to minimize what? That there is a trans character in his game?
Anything in the game. Now, to go back to this one, we have to talk about this. There were people alleging that Neil Druckmann was scanned and motion captured.
Right.
You can look back at my videos where I say there is no proof of this. This is just a crazy rumor.
Once again, he's not referring to you. He doesn't know who you are. Continuing on.
Rumor going around. There's no proof that he was motion captured, but that it did indeed look very much like him.
I gotta be honest, he doesn't even really look like him. Other than the hair and the beard a little bit. But like even Neil's beard is like thicker than this dude's beard. Like come on, man.
Now that has been said that did not happen. That was a different actor who played the character of Manny.
And Laura Bailey
That's
came
fine.
out
Again,
and said that too.
I never alleged that happened. Or that we paid for reviews. That's the last thing that he said, that he tries to minimize. Well, indeed, again, as we covered on this channel, K-Wing Reviews, who did leave a comment, he reached back out to try to clarify something that he said here, and I will do that clarification. He said this: The Last of Us 2 is a terrible game. Anyone says different is selling something. I was offered early access. I said no, because if I said it was a bad game, we'd be blacklisted. Now, he did go to clarify that he meant to say we would probably be blacklisted, not that he...
But what this person is saying is disingenuous, because I played the game and I liked it. A lot of people have played the game and liked it. Most of my friends have played it and liked it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But like, that's it. It's totally a moot argument. There's no proof that you're selling something. I have nothing to gain by saying I like the game. I have nothing to gain other than potential hate for posting this video defending it. I'm not even really defending it. I'm just saying this guy is ridiculous, and he's literally just posting these videos to get more views. That's all he's doing, man. All of his videos right now are Last of Us crap. If you hate the game so much, why are you posting so much about it? Because you have something to gain off of it, dude. You're lame. You're a dingus. Let's continue on.
Knew for sure. This is what people mean when they're talking about the reviews not being accurate. That people are afraid to lose their access. They're afraid of being blacklisted. Not that they actually paid for reviews. And Neil Druckmann knows that. What he's trying to do here is dismiss all of the value.
But they didn't pay for reviews. There is something to be said about, you know, a reviewer getting a code. Is that fair? But, you know, that's a totally different discussion, and that goes all across games media, not this game specifically. And there might be some truth to that, but as far as I know, no one's ever been blacklisted from IGN because they said a game is bad. I don't know if you remember, IGN gave Kojima's last game, Death Stranding, a pretty low score, all things considered. Also published by Sony Interactive. So what's the difference between this game and that game? Same studio. Days Gone, same thing. Didn't get great review scores. I don't understand what this man is talking about.
Valid criticisms about
this guy's just talking out his ass. Is really what's happening here. Let's keep going.
This game. And what are those criticisms, right? People are upset about a variety of things, but the main thing is the story and the fact that they hate Abby, that she is not made to be sympathetic, that you hate her. They hate what they did to Joel, and they can't get over it. And they're mad that Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog made this about Joel. Let's just
Well, and let's let him finish his thought here.
See what Neil Druckmann said. Listen to what he said so many years ago and why people feel cheated.
No one loves these characters more than we do, and we would not do this if we didn't feel like we had the right idea. And the part 2 is really kind of doubling down on that, to say we believe in this so much. We're not trying to avoid it, and we like, I've played with so many of the ideas that had different characters, and it never felt right. The Last of Us is about these 2 characters specifically.
Yes. Meaning Joel and Ellie, and of course there's where he spits on, not Neil Druckmann, but where the character of Manny spits on the character of Joel after Joel has been killed. Right.
All right. So first of all, your point about the game being bad because it's about Abby. First of all.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah, that's totally just like his opinion. 100%. Just his opinion. It's totally his opinion. And the game is still very much about those 2 characters. Joel getting killed is a big part of that game, and Ellie seeking revenge. But then you get the flip side of Abby, and the game starts, and when you play as her for the first time, you're like, I don't know if I can like this character. But then you learn to sympathize with her, and that's what he's going for. And it's still very much about Joel and Ellie, because without Joel and Ellie, the story doesn't go on. It's still... Let's let him continue.
So that is why people are so upset about this. And they want to go leave reviews. Like I said, you can see that the user score has continued to increase, nearly 60,000 ratings now. But the positive ones have really ticked up, while the negative ones have barely moved.
Could it be because people are finally beating the game? And now we're getting positive reviews? Maybe you should beat the game. You might not like it, but I don't think you'd give it a 0. Like I said, Metacritic is having server issues, but it's all around the board. Like, it's not just when you try to leave a review. It's having issues all over the place, which is also preventing people from posting positive reviews. So, anyway.
Moved at all. Very strange, isn't it? Well, like I said, I have been doing some looking, and look at some of the comments I have here on my channel.
He talks about this for a while.
Heard this female 2 days. They're also right here. Okay, so my review will not post on Metacritic. So it can't just be isolated to a couple people. It has to be it. People that are reviewing it on YouTube. It's not lining up with what the critics say. It's falling much more in line with what we have all been saying all along. That this story is garbage. That they do a disservice to Joel.
Once again, that's
false
just like
advertising
your opinion, man.
for them to try to sell us on a game that Joel was in. Instead, when you play 60% of the game as Abby, and I actually did. I wanted to check one more thing, because I think PewDiePie has one of the best reactions. PewDiePie, when you realize that
and then he says PewDiePie pretends to delete the game, but he's making a joke. It's a joke, and he went on to play the game and he actually liked it. So whatever, man. I don't know. I think my point. I think I've made my point here. This guy's a dingus. I don't normally make videos like this. Thanks for checking out the channel, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't give The Last of Us Part 2 a 10 score either. But a 0? It's total review bombs, dude. Whatever. Check out the gaming podcast every Tuesday. Check out the Jake and Corey show every Monday. Thanks, guys.